Saturday morning. It's November 10th. It's a little late in the year. I know you can't see me. You just gotta bear with me for a minute. It's a little late. Normally for rut activity. Usually it's come and gone by now, but I saw several deer last night on the highway, kind of chasing things like that. So we're hoping that it's still running. But I wanted to share something with you this morning that's extremely frustrating. So we have a 4,500 acre lease that there's about 35 members on. Probably 20 of those members actually hunt. I would be one of them. And you do all this work throughout the summer. You clear lanes, you prepare food plots. You do a ton of work, a lot of sweat, a lot of blood, and you build these stands, you pay your money, you pay for the seed. Then you put the cameras out and you're constantly checking cameras, and it's just a lot of work to get to the actual hunt part. And this morning we get in the stand and it's dark. We're waiting on daylight to finally come up, and some idiot sleeps late and decides to drive to their stand right at the crack of, when it's already light. I'm telling you, it's the most frustrating thing you can ever imagine. Not that I don't know if it would actually affect today's hunt or not, but you do all the work. Why don't you get up? I don't understand. That's the easiest thing to do, is get up. Get your butt up. Go to the stand before daylight. It just blows my mind. It really does. So anyway, we're hoping that we'll get that buck today and we'll get it done. But again, like I said, it's just frustrating. I had to share. Cold as balls. It's probably 38 degrees, which I know is nothing for you northerners, but it's pretty chilly for us down here in Texas. I ain't seen crap. It's about 8:30 this morning. It's been daylight for an hour and a half, and it is slow. Wind's probably 10 miles an hour. It's perfect, but I just don't understand why we're not having any movement. It blows my mind. And the battery on the camera's almost dead because I forgot to charge it. So if we do see something, I'm really not sure if I'll get to show it to you or not. So we'll see how it goes. I'm just kind of negative this morning. I don't know what the deal is, but I got a lot to do at camp today. And I'm sure people didn't bring what they were supposed to bring. So again, I'm just kind of being negative. I need to see some deer just to kind of bring me back up. I don't care if they're little or small or young or what. I'd just like to see something. So we'll check back in a bit. We didn't have any luck today. It was cold and a little windy. Very, very frustrating. I don't know, man. You go out here and you spend all this money, you put in all this time, and it doesn't work out, and I know it's just one hunt. It's not like I'm super down or anything like that. It just stinks, makes me want to contemplate whether to quit spending all the money here. And because for what I spend here, I could go on one or two really awesome hunts and get me a really good elk, get me a bear, get me something really cool like that. Or I can come out here and chase these whitetails, and I don't know. It's very frustrating. Again, like I said, I know it's just one hunt, but when the weather is set up to be perfect, and I'm looking over a 200-acre field, it's it can get really frustrating. So I don't know. Hopefully tonight will be a lot better. I hadn't really decided exactly where we're gonna go tonight, but we'll see. Okay, we're in a stand we call the blinking light. There's like a radio tower or cell phone tower that's close to it that's got the red lights that blink. That's why we call it the blinking light. Basically what we got is we got a food plot that runs 100 yards in front of us, and then we got a food plot with a feeder pen that runs to our right, and it's about 60 yards. This is a perfect spot for kids to shoot, and we got so much doe pee out because they are chasing that we ought to bring in bucks from 10 miles away. We're using rubline scents. It's a really good, it's pee, basically deer pee, but it's real fresh. They bottle it themselves. They know where it comes from, and it's very good stuff. And so we got the rubline scents out to my right, and we'll see what happens. It can't be any worse than it was this morning. We didn't see nothing. So Sydney back here, say hi, Sydney. She's got the heater going, and it's probably 110 degrees in the stand right now. But are you warm? Are you warm, Sid? Let me look at that heater. Yeah, it's freaking hot, no doubt. So we'll see what happens. So it's getting dark. We haven't seen anything, but little Sydney here taught me a really important, or reminded me of a really important lesson. And we kind of talked about it in the previous episode when my 5-year-old daughter Bella was sitting with me. I've put a lot of pressure on myself here lately, especially even getting into this video equipment on hunting and seeing deer and killing deer and things like that. Trying to get it all on film. Last Saturday night I hunted with my 5-year-old, and she just played and played and played, and I said in that video, take your kids hunting, even if it means that you don't get to kill anything. Well, this morning, dude, as you know from this video, I was just down after hunting, man. I was almost ready to quit even. The first time in a long time I've sat in that stand and not seen anything. And so tonight we get in the stand. I took me a nap earlier today and kind of got in a better mood or whatever. And tonight we're hunting a stand that Sydney wanted to hunt. And so she's been over here taking a nap and relaxing, and I've been sitting over here and just diligently looking out these windows, trying to will a deer to come in. And Sydney woke up from her little nap and said she had to go to the bathroom. And, you know, the hunter side of me was like, oh, just hold it, kid. It'll be all right. But, you know, I've been in the stand. It's very uncomfortable to sit here and have to go. So, you know, Sydney, my little girl's 9 years old. And anyway, so I opened the door and I let her get out. The steps on this stand aren't all that great. And she jumped off the second to the top step, hit the ground and fell backwards and hit her back on the ladder on the steps and started crying. And first thing I did was jump down and just grab her and make sure she was okay. And she hit pretty hard, and she's fine. You're good, aren't you? But you know, I mean, it reminded me once again that it's not about, I mean, yeah, everybody wants to kill a deer. Everybody wants to get the meat in the freezer. Everybody wants to kill a big buck. Everybody wants a nice set of horns. But, you know, it's not about that. It's about Sydney here. It's about Bella. It's about my other daughter, Abby. It's about getting these kids outside and getting them away from society and just letting them be kids. You know, and if we see a deer, and if we get to harvest a deer, if we get to shoot a buck, that's all bonus. But it's really about these kids and just spending time with your family. And so I want to encourage everybody. I mean, get your kids involved. Get your family out to deer camp. You know, y'all have a good time. Get away from society. Get away from TV. Get away from cell phones. We don't have cell phone signal where we're sitting right now. I mean, get away from all that stuff and just get outside. Spend time together. You know, love on each other. I mean, that's what it's all about. It's all about family. It's all about loving on each other. Get outside and enjoy the great outdoors with your kids and your family.
So, Port, did you see any deer tonight?
Yes.
How many?
2.
That's all you got to say?
Yeah.
All right, so we're here with the killer of the biggest buck that has ever been killed off of Bird Mountain deer lease. We got the exclusive interview right now. All right.
Take your glasses off, it'll be okay.
So Kelly, tell us about your deer.
There's nothing to say.
What happened?
It was
You killed the biggest deer ever off of Bird Mountain.
Yeah.
Tell us about it. Why you
It's just
Ask Baby
TJ.
John, he missed first.
He missed first.
So everyone's lucky that I didn't shoot the biggest deer ever off of Bird Mountain, because it would be required that every time they saw me, they would have to scream, "The champ is here." So apparently, I had it on camera, Russ had it on camera. John, did you have it on camera? John had it on camera, 2 other guys had it on. This deer was roaming
I never had it on camera.
probably, I don't know, a 5-mile grid that all these guys got it on camera, and nobody would talk about it. Nobody told each other they had it on camera. And then Kelly, who, have you ever shot a deer, Kelly? She shot her first deer the weekend before. It was a doe. And then the next weekend, she shoots a 170-inch freaking buck, which is the biggest buck ever killed at Bird Mountain. We just dominated some Mexican food tonight. So it was my turn to cook at camp. And I said, screw it, let's go eat. So that's what we did. So we dominated. And we're out. Going back to camp, get some sleep. I'll be at Trump Tower in the morning. Then we gotta move some feeders and then going home. So got a busy day tomorrow. Trying to get some rest. All right, well, it's Sunday morning and we're gonna hunt this morning. Then we got a couple of things we gotta do around the lease. We gotta move a feeder and things like that. We had a great time at dinner last night, and you know, it's really good just to get your mind back into what's important. Had a good hunt last night, me and Sydney, and we really just spent time together. And so we're gonna do the same thing today. We're gonna have fun hanging out with my best friend, and we are gonna try to shoot a deer or two or three or whatever. So anyway, Gerald Swindell, he's a professional bass fisherman. He talks about having a positive mental attitude, PMA. I don't know if that works in hunting or not, but we're going to give it a shot this morning. And so anyway, here we go. We're ready to do it.
Hey guys, we just got done hunting and we didn't see a single thing, but it's all about family, and me and Daddy had a lot of fun.
Well, another day of nothing, but we had a good time. And I love this little kid, and I'm so glad we got to spend the weekend with her by ourselves. So now we're going to go change the times on the feeders. They're still set to daylight savings time. We're going to go change those. We're going to pull cards, check the feeders, make sure they got enough corn in them, and we got to move another feeder at a different location, and then we're going home. And we're going to warm up. So anyway, we'll holler at you in a little bit. So we constantly come up with different projects for camp to make it more fun, to make our lives easier, just to make it where we can enjoy it better. And I want to show you guys something real quick. If you look behind me, let me see, there you go. So this is the beginning of our skinning shack. We're gonna have a roof on it, a couple of fluorescent lights hanging. There'll be 2 skinning stations with hand cranks or hand winches, like you winch up a boat. They'll be on each side,
and we'll eventually concrete the bottom of it. And so it's about 10 foot tall, which would give us plenty of room to pull up deer, and that way we're not squatting over and things like that. So pretty cool project. We got the main beams cemented in yesterday, and so I don't know, it's gonna be pretty cool. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks it'll be completed. We're gonna walk over here. I want to show you one more thing that we got for camp, and we are constantly scouring Craigslist and you know, Facebook Marketplace and things like that. Check out what I scored. Let me see this. Boom. This is commercial grade playground equipment, and yeah, it came free with the concrete. And so we have constantly been beating this, or the kids have been beating this concrete off, and we're going to get it set up. So there will be so much fun that takes place on this this playground equipment. So, and I don't know if I've actually, let me get my screen back out here. And I don't know if I've actually given you guys the full tour of Camp 8 before. If you'll see in the background, right there, it's our porta potty. Yeah, no sewer out here, so we got a porta potty that gets cleaned out, I don't know, every once in a while. If you look behind me, there's a skinning shack. Then there's the row of campers where everybody sleeps. This was a huge brush pile that you can check our Instagram and see. It's burned down dramatically. And then if I spin around, this is where everybody hangs out. Under this big big live oak tree. God, I'm so cold, my lips ain't working, my mouth's not working. So this is where we currently are skinning animals and hanging out, and the kids built a swing. We got some picnic tables. People are getting back from hunting right now. Uh-oh, we got a deer. We got a buck. All right, Port, tell me what happened.
So first we saw a spike, and then we saw a big old coyote, and then we rattled this big old buck in. So first he stopped and I couldn't get a scope on him, and then he started walking, and then I shot him.
Where'd you shoot him?
In the heart.
Right in the heart, huh? Show him to me.